All right, all right. Let's get started. It is that time, and I do apologize for those who have been following me. I'm sorry we were having some technical difficulties getting this going. So, for all of you who are not familiar with me, my name is Dispatch Cat. I am the founder of GL University. This is where we inform, guide, and show you how to scale your business. This week, we're focusing on revenue. So, I'm actually bringing in the other layers to this because when you do this, I promise you, it's just not one layer to it. If you want to reach your entire audience, it's not going to be just one layer. So, I'm going to go into my other studio and see how we can go ahead and get started with that as well, because we want to make sure everyone is a part of tonight's showcase due to the fact that we are talking about money at the end of the day. That's exactly why people get into logistics, for the money. They don't come here to pussyfoot around. They came here to create a lifestyle that will give them the freedom that they seek. So, as I am bringing the other and pulling the other strings together, thank you all for being with me. Let me say that. Thank you for trying to get in logistics. Let's go ahead and get ready to break it down for all of you. All right, let me get it. Let me get it. 1 second. Thank you for being so patient. I appreciate this. Okay, we got that going. I got my streams. Let's go ahead and put this presentation up here so everyone who is watching can actually follow along with the information, because that's what's most important. Okay. Let me make sure I get this correct so everyone can see it. What's going on, Miss Linda Wallace? Thank you for joining us. Miss Linda is a good friend of mine and mentor to millionaires. Okay, let's see. What is it? Let me bring something else to the table for us as we get started. So sorry, Miss Linda. Thank you for being patient, though. I appreciate that. When you're doing something like this and you have a lot of people that you want to reach and touch, it's like you make sure you got to make sure times 10 that you're able to reach and touch all of these people while being able to bring quality to the table when it comes to your information and through the technology you have that you're using. So I think my StreamYards is moving. It's trying to process this. So right now, let me go ahead and rock with my opening. I want to start with one question. Do you actually know your numbers? As that dispatcher, do you know how much you want to make your carrier? As that driver, do you know? I say this because everyone in freight wants more money. Boy, do they want more money. But the one thing that I have learned and I've noticed is not too many people are going to do what it takes to actually get that extra money. That is the part right there that we have to be aware of. And one thing that I will say, trust and believe that if you load and collecting the payment, it's way more than that. Many people, they don't know their numbers because they get that truck, they then get that payment, and now they're trying to hurry up and get the money in. But the problem is, you have to understand your numbers to know what money you need to bring in, to understand how much money you need to bring in. Because if you're not aware of these things, you're just going to be booking blindly, if I may say that. Even though, got this going wrong. Here's the problem: you can't grow a number you don't know. You can't. It doesn't work like that. You can't just say 10,000 and you actually don't know if you really need 10,000. So I say that because so many people, they come in this and they say, "Let me make $2 a mile, um, 10, maybe 10,000 a week." But the problem with that is, are you really sure you need 10,000 a week? Do you know if you need more than that? Let me take this off. Let's go back to where I was at, because this is very important. See, the problem is, many people, you can't grow if you don't know exactly what you need. That's the biggest thing right there. That's enough. That's a mouthful right there for you. You cannot grow if you don't know what you need. So let me flip my camera around so people who are actually watching this, they can kind of like follow along with my TV back there. The problem is, you have to understand what it costs to not just run that truck, but how much it takes to run a truck every 500 miles. So if you go off of 500 miles, then you can kind of predicate how much you should make, how much each load will possibly cost you. So I say that to say this to all of you who are watching me right now. What's the minimum rate that truck can accept to still be profitable? How much revenue are you actually making from your truck? And then how much is your overhead? If you can answer those questions without guessing, guess what? You have a great framework. But if you actually can't answer those questions without guessing, guess what? You're not making revenue decisions. You're making fast cash, and it's going out fast. So you're making load decisions based off of long term decisions. The one thing that's the biggest difference between a dispatcher and an operator, in my opinion, is a dispatcher really and only ask, "Hey, what load can I find you?" And the operator says, "How much does it take to regulate this business? How much does it take to actually be profitable for this business? What does the truck need to produce, not just for the business, but for the household?" So tonight we're going to stop just looking at freight load by load and start looking at the revenue system. And I say that because if you're trying, or if you're already in this, and if you don't have the structure that you really seek or desire, go ahead, come on, use mine. So we're going to talk about revenue margins, the extra money, your payment methods, the negotiations, numbers, all before you even say, "Let me book this rate." Because the rate is the last number that really makes the biggest difference. See, at GL University, we are not just teaching you how to stay busy or how to just be a dispatcher. I'm actually creating freight operators from the systems that I've created for this business here. We're teaching you how to build something profitable. See, this is week 3. Every week I come to you with something different. First week is the fundamentals, how to get into freight dispatch. And the second week, man, let's go ahead. We're talking about the carrier interviewing. Because if I can teach you how to interview, you will always eat. The money, the revenue systems, that's what we're discussing tonight. See, revenue is not about what happens after you book that load. No, revenue happens before you even start the load. Revenue is all about the other things that's underneath the surface that many people are not aware of. See, when you know your numbers, you know where it starts from, and that is your beginning part. It starts with your operation costs, it starts with your household costs. See, when you know your household requirements, then you know if this truck is actually feasible to sustain the household. When you know your weekly revenue target, guess what? Now you understand your margins. Now you understand what profit can and will look like for you. When you know how to negotiate, you will never settle for less. When you know what money is being left on the table, you will stop asking for $2 a mile. And I have to say that because so many of my drivers, excuse me, as I shut one of my lights off, so many of my drivers are Oh, I want $2 a mile. I want this, I want that. And I'm looking at them saying, why are you asking for $2 a mile when a customer is actually paying $6 to $8 a mile? Depend. The customer is paying, I would say, $3 to $6 a mile. But you wouldn't know that because you're asking for two and people are stealing your money. So that's what I'm trying to do here. Build something different. Why? Because when I got into dispatching, I realized that one, everyone was lying to people. And then two, man, double brokering is real. That's why we are actually building freight operators and not just dispatchers. This is something that can actually help people with their numbers, help people create operating systems, help people actually develop the right paradigms that will help get them to freedom. See, I'm not selling dispatching, I'm selling freedom. Logistics is just a vehicle that I'm using to get you to freedom. So tonight we're going to learn about the money, learn how the money works, and we're going to take it even a step further than the money. And I say that because why? My screen looks like it's blurry. I say that because there's no way you're going to make it in logistics without knowing your numbers. You can try, you can keep trying, but baby, you're going to be climbing up a huge mountain if you don't get your stuff together. Because this freedom, it doesn't come from booking load after load after load. No, it comes from creating and building a business that operates like a system. Because without that truck, you have nothing. Without the driver, you have something. But without the truck itself, you have nothing. So that's what we're building tonight. We're going to go through my revenue and my profit system. And now let me go ahead and get started with my presentation for all of you who are here to learn more about the money, how to get to the money, and even understand the money. Let me get my video capturing off. So sorry. Okay, so when it comes to the revenue for logistics, protect your margins. Oh, maximize your profit, but more importantly, build your freedom. Why? Because we're not doing this for a second job. We've been there, done it. I'm over that. And I will say this, some of us are well of age beyond that. So we don't need to have it where we're trying to still figure some stuff out. No, there are enough people out there that have made more than enough mistakes where we don't have to keep making these mistakes. So let's go ahead. Your truck is your business, but your margin, baby, that's your profit. Let's go ahead and get the elephant out the room. My name is Kat. You can call me Dispatch Kat. I am here because I was working a corporate job. Real talk. If you don't know anything about me, know I hail from Chicago, and that says a lot about me because, baby, I am deep rooted into my Chicagoan. We are real. We don't play. We grind and hustle all day. But that's why I moved down to the Carolinas because, to be honest with you, I wanted to fall in love. I wanted to have a family, and I wanted my own business. But I knew if I did it in Chicago, oh baby, I would be hustling and bustling all day long. I've done everything under the sun when it comes to sales and marketing. So, to give you a little snippet background about me, I do sales and marketing. I've been doing sales and marketing for a long time. No matter what industry I have been there, I've done that. And but the biggest thing about me is I try to learn and figure out a business system because my theory is if you can learn the system, then you can work the system. See, when I came across dispatching, I wasn't really needing it financially. But baby, when I tell you through my time bank, ooh, when I checked it, I said, where is my time? Because I had just got married. I just had a baby. So within about 6 months of being married, you're talking about things change for me. And me working from home, I was actually selling a CRM system that it was a big high price ticket, at least 125,000 per year. The monthly quota for my sales team, we had to make about 5 to 6 bookings, 10 if you're good. I am not being braggadocious here at all. I was booking 10 to 15 and even sometimes 20. That sound great. That was nice. 60K a year, 10,000 to $15,000 commission checks. I don't say that to be braggadocious. I say that because numbers matter. And if you don't know the numbers, you won't understand why people make the decisions that they make. I digress. I say that because I was good financially. I didn't need the money. I didn't need that. But baby, when I tell you, after I had my daughter, I noticed about 3 months in, oh, I needed time. Why? Because the time that I had, it was really gone and it was moving faster and faster. And I say that because my husband, he worked, I worked. We really didn't have the support to help with the child. It was tough. I didn't want to put my daughter in daycare. So my schedule was 12 to 9, and then at 9 to 12 it was dinner, bath time, breastfeeding, and then back up at 5 a.m. So I was time broke. I didn't have the time. It wasn't until one day that I made the time. No, I felt like I was forced to make the time. And this story chokes me up because I tried to do everything right. I went to school, got the good job, got married, and then had kids. But they didn't prepare me for the next level of that. A lot of parents tell your kids, go to school, get a good job, get married, then have kids. But then where's the structure after that? Where's the system after that? I learned from my own experience, a lot of parents fell off because they stopped growing after that. They just got into that circle of life and got on their wheel and started rolling and rolling and rolling until they passed out or even died. I was like, no, I don't want that. I wasn't going to choose that. So one day I was on my 15th sale. Oh, and I thought I was rocking it. I thought I was the ish. That wake up call hit me hard. See, my daughter was crying in the background. Now I've left that Zoom call where my computer and my camera had to be on. I've left that to tend to my daughter, and they've seen it. And they were saying, my boss was like, "Hey, we can't have that. You have to be on that all day, every day." And I said, "Oh wow, okay, no problem." So what am I going to do? Am I going to choose my daughter, or am I going to choose my career, life? I did what anyone did. I posted a sale and I ran to my daughter right afterwards. But as I soon realized, as soon as I got in that room, when I tell you my heart sunk to the floor, I was like, damn, it was only 5 minutes. She fell asleep already. I was so heartbroken because I couldn't make it to her in time to give her the bottle so she can have a full stomach before she went to sleep. Because if not, it creates a new cycle of crying when you wake up and the baby's hungry and cranky, and it's like I tried to avoid it. And see, in that moment, I had to realize that my job wasn't going to stop pressing me about making a sale. My daughter wasn't going to stop growing. So what was Kat going to do? I remember a movie called The Family Man or something like that with Nicolas Cage, and he saw two sides of his life. And I remember in that moment when I saw the movie, I said, I would never choose. I'm going to have it all. Because God said I can do all things through Christ, Philippians 4:13, right? Yeah, I believe in that and I live by that, and that's my mantra. So when that sale came, oh, I was ecstatic, but I was so devastated when my daughter fell asleep. That night, I promised myself, I said, never again. I will never put my daughter above a sale. I don't care what it is. I don't care how much the price is. No. I asked God, I said, God, I need a way. Show me a way. I'll listen. God sent my brother and my sister to me. I said, what? I'm not listening to them. He said, you asked for a way, so maybe you should. My brother had 5 trucks at that time. I didn't even know logistics. I didn't. All I knew was sales and marketing. So that lets you know I didn't have this background. My sister had 2 trucks. I had sales and marketing. All I knew was I needed a way out of that rat race. Every morning, every day, I had to wake up and deliver. But you know what? My brother said become a broker. My sister said do dispatching. I checked into brokerage because I said high and mighty, right? I was like, okay, let me see what this is about. Oh, what? How much is that surety bond? No, thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and check this out. So when I looked into dispatching, I said, what is it? What do you really need to do? But you know what I learned? What I found out? Guess what? Everything has a dispatcher. The army has a dispatcher. The police has a dispatcher. Your plumber has a dispatcher. Do you know you can't even reach out to your electrician without going through the dispatcher? I said, wow, isn't that interesting? All of the industry's foundation is the dispatcher. So when I joined in, I was very much nervous, didn't have the background, didn't have the skills, never even took or watched a class. But before I made that decision, I did my due diligence. I did watch the videos, and then I found a trainer. I was being cheap. I was being nervous, and I wasn't really trying to jump all the way in. It was like, put your little your tippy toe in. Let me just test it out. It doesn't work like that with God. So when I found out that dispatching didn't take all that much time, didn't have to spend that much money, I said, okay, let me try it out. Let me put my pinky toe in it. Why? Because a lot of us, just like you're not sure if it's going to work. A lot of us, just like you really want to change your situation, but you're not sure if you can change your situation or if you even have the strength to change your situation. Here's the thing you have, and like I said to R 13, you can do all things through Christ, baby. You can do anything you put your mind to. I had $200, no time, but 2 hours between 12 a.m. and 2 a.m. So $200 and 2 hours of time, I was able to book 6 carriers. Let me say that better. I was able to sign up 6 carriers in my first week. I'm very determined. I'm very determined. If I'm about to jump into something, oh yeah, I'm determined. I'm going to do my due diligence to make sure if I jump, I'm going to win something. I don't lose, I win, I succeed. I am that competitive. I was still nervous, still working that 12 to 9 full-time job. I said, wait, I booked these six at 10%, which means I make 60% no matter what. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. All I knew was let me buy a load board. Let me find a way. Because I got 6 people now on my back who are counting on me to deliver. By the end of week 2, oh baby, I had 12 carriers. I started to learn more and more because I wasn't going to sleep. I even got to the point where I was working dispatching while I was working my job. As soon as my job started, it was a lunch break for shippers. That's when that shift started. Technically, I worked from 8 to 12, and then 12 to 2. So I was given more time to dispatching every week. All of this was within my first 30 days, Alicia. Stay with me. By week 3, baby, I signed up 24 carriers, and I was overwhelmed, tired, didn't have an ounce of sleep, but bags under my eyes. My husband was watching. He was like, huh, I don't know how I can help. I don't know dispatching. I do maintenance. We got a baby. How can I? Let me just help with the baby. I'm over here like saying, can you help with these carriers? I didn't have the time to teach them. I'm still learning. I'm only in week 3. And I got 24 people now. Oh, baby. Things got tight. Things got tight all across the board because I was now wanting to pull that hair out because now I got people saying, where's my load? Where's my load? Every day while my boss is saying, hey, where's my sale? Where's my sale? And the odd part is I remain number 1 all throughout this entire mess while still maintaining motherhood. I'm not bragging, baby. I'm telling you, this was not an easy road to get through. But let me tell you why I did it. I was willing to chew off. If you know the movie Saw, the first one, when the man was in that dungeon and he had, it was like an ankle. What was it? It was a chain on his ankle. I was willing to chew my ankle off to get out of that job. See, I didn't want just any other job. I had a great resume. Don't get me wrong. It took years to get to that resume criteria. Don't get me wrong. But because I understood what freedom was, due to the fact that I actually partook, I did network marketing and being successful, and that even just a little bit showed me what freedom really was. Being able to swipe your card and come and go wherever you please, whenever you want. I said I want that, but I didn't want it in network marketing. I wasn't trying to convince. I wanted people, I wanted to do something that I wanted to do without having to drag someone into it too. So dispatching was easy. It's freight, truck, I'm in the middle. I communicate. I said, "Oh, I can do that." Because sales is, let me talk to you, let me bridge your problem to my solution, and there you go. Dispatcher taught me that I didn't need any of that. All I need was freight, a truck, and there was the money. Because in between was the communication, and I was the communicator. By the end of that month, I had 24 carriers. I got on probation at my job. Can you believe that? I was actually still number one for that company, the Deuce. Within 1 month, I actually made the $1.8 million. Do you know they gave me a $10,000 check? When I say I wanted to take that check and smack somebody with it, I'm trying to be humble. But when you really think about the numbers and how much you make a company and how much they give you, oh, it makes you want to smack somebody, mama. Let me get back to it. So by the end of the month, now, mind you, we were in COVID. Alicia, stay with me. We are in COVID. We're in full-fledged COVID at this point now. It's the Thursday before my interview. Now, the interview technically is my meeting. They wanted to fire me. I was nervous as ever. I was like, God. See, I had 24 carries, and within that month, I figured out how to make each one $10,000 a week. But the problem that I had was, how can I keep up with this demand? See, I wasn't aware that you don't need all of these carriers. I was like, let me make sure, God, all I wanted to do is have one. You gave me 24. I wanted to make sure that cup wasn't going to end, because I've done 100% commissions before. I know what it's like when you don't have that guaranteed job underneath your belt. Baby, when you work 100% and you bet on yourself, you will never let yourself down, because you are not going to starve. And when you actually have other people on your back, it makes the saying, too much is given, much is required, even more heavy on your heart. See, 24 carriers didn't care if I had to go to work. They didn't care if my baby ate. They wanted to make sure, hey, woman, you got my load, because you told me you can handle this. So now that you say you can handle it, handle it. So that Thursday, I was just like, God, what am I going to do? See, I was going to stick to the job. Look at my numbers. 60K, 10 to 15,000 checks in commission. Okay. 25 carriers, $1,000 a week. Okay. 60, 70 to 75. Okay. That's another 25. That's 100K a month, if I could keep up with it. Or it's me getting fired. It's me losing my business. It's me falling down and crumbling if I couldn't keep up with it. So God told me, hey, you're going to have to make a decision. I said, God, show me a confirmation. Because Proverbs 3:5, I will not lean on to my own understanding. I've been there and I've done that. So now I want your understanding. So God showed me the answer when my husband and I went to Walmart that night. Just grocery shopping, and out of nowhere, a woman walked past and her shirt said, faith over fear, and peace and a subtle ease came over my body. See, my body knew the answer. I was still greedy. Mind you, the next day, we're not in our office. My husband is dispatching. I am on the call with my supervisor, and it's a video call. So, Alicia, when I tell you, this white man, all due respect, he was definitely chewing my butt out. Hey, Kat, you know what you can do? You know how much we poured into you? And I'm thinking, do you know how much I have made you? Do you know I'm aware of these numbers? Do you know how much you paid me? Do you know that the government took half of that, which means you barely got away with anything? It's like free labor to a degree, to a degree. So as he was chewing me out for something, and I had no inkling of what I was going to do, but my body knew somehow, because I'm still in my mind thinking, how can I apologize? How can I say I'm sorry? Out of nowhere, what came out of my mouth was, you know what, no problem, I quit. Boop. And I saw his face say, oh, wait. I hung up his computer, opened up my computer, and I kept it moving. I never looked back at that company again. I made 100K that year. I was shocked because one, all of this was during COVID. Our carriers ate that year, big time. Two, I only been doing this 30 days and I didn't know what the heck I was doing. So I had about 70 to about close to 95, depending on my commissions, income. And I give the numbers because growing up, people showed me that people can be kind of funny about money. Money is to teach you. And I'm teaching you that I walked away from this opportunity that I thought was so great, that I thought was amazing, because I didn't understand, but I really didn't see God. But I knew that if I trusted God and went His way, things would be okay. The only time I went back to a job was to learn automations through Go High Level. And then I left because I saw how their commission structure was, and I brought that to logistics and built my three systems. Three systems, which is my carrier interviewing system. I went over that last week. This week, I'm going to go over my second system, which is my truck and household profit calculator. And my third system is my AI freight coach. See, I build systems to help people grow through technology so technology does not replace people. Because in logistics, we actually need that. See, I want to show you my story because I am not a scam artist. I'm not someone who had freight dispatching under their belt. I'm someone who said, look here, I am a woman, I am a wife, and I want to make money every day and night. I won't always have to show up because AI or technology or another industry can help me eat even while I sleep. And that's logistics for you. So let's go ahead. We're going to switch this back up, get back to it, because now that we've gotten the elephant out the room on who I am and why I came here, let's talk about these numbers. See, your numbers equate to your freedom in logistics. See, you can't see this. Why? Because I can see my screen, my light right there. And baby, I want you to get this. See, these numbers, they look nice, but they're not nice if you go home and you're actually crying at night. See, we were hitting our numbers, and people, thank God, thank God, they realized we ain't no scammer. They realized, oh, I can trust them. See, the one thing that people had to understand was, one second, let me get y'all through here. The one thing that people had to understand was God has people who work for Him too. Okay, God has awards and rewards just like the enemy does. So hopefully I did this right because I want to make sure you all get this. Revenue, $12,450 came in. Now, your expenses, $9,135. I have a saying, if your expenses are over 55 to 60%, cut it. You're doing too much. People say, oh, I make 3,000 every week. Okay, that's cool, but if you technically spent 7 and you kept 3, did you really win? Maybe, depends. But let's look at it. That means your margin, which you kept, was only $3,313. You profit $2,000. But the problem is, what came in was 12,000. What went out was 9,000. Too much, too much, too much. Out this 12,000, 4,000 minimum. Maybe if you're at 5, that's a little bit. But if you're at 6 and you brought in 12, too much of your money is going out of your business. See, your numbers will help you to control your business, but it will create more freedom, more income, and more time if it's done right. So when it comes to my numbers, let's see, hold on, let me get my pointer right. We want to scale this operation. So here's the thing. Week 1, I told you how to get in this industry. Freight plus truck equals what? Money. Because freight and truck, and you are the communicator. All you need is your phone. All you need is the load board. And guess what? You can find your driver on Facebook. Guess what? You can find you some freight on DAT. Stop playing with me and let's go get the 6 figures. Because I took the $200. $200. I kid you not. And I actually scaled my business to over 6 figures. That wasn't the plan. That wasn't the goal. All I knew was I just wanted one. And I just wanted to run as fast as I could. Don't stop me if I go because, baby, I have speed. So we're going to first find your lows. How? Market research and lane strategy. You have to understand that places like Beaufort, South Carolina. Don't go. Don't go. The ports, yes, but that area, no. Jacksonville, you touching it. Ooh, that's as much as I would do. Orlando, maybe. Miami, good if you can come out good, but if not, no. Mobile, Alabama, stay away from. Why? Because you won't be able to get out. I'm gonna talk about you all over there. New Orleans, oh man, I'm sorry. That's not a lucrative space to be in because you can get there good, some people, but then you're gonna deadhead to a better area to come out. And this is just off of my research. 3 lanes can hit 10,000. How? We actually done it before. So we're gonna find the loads. Well, guess what we're gonna do once we do that? Let's build these relationships. You go and call your broker. Hey, I want this load, $200 more. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. Why? Because that sounds like a double broker load if they're only reaching $200 above anyway. So we're going to build the relationships. Hey, I see you got this load. How often do you run it? Why? Because I want to make sure you're a rock star every time. Because if I help you take this off your plate, baby, that's going to make you look like a rock star to your boss, right? Because people fail to realize every business is sales. If you complete your work, you win. That's sales. So we build the relationships with the carriers, with the brokers, and with the shippers. Why? Brokers, I want to know how often do you run this lane? Why? Because if you run this lane every 2 weeks, I'm your person. Why? My driver's your guy. Why? Because we're going to show you white glove service this week. And I even take a lesser rate. But next week, I want a double of that cost. It's called negotiation. If I am booking this for you from you, see, people think that broker thinks, oh, they have the leverage because they have the freight. No, baby, I got the leverage because I have the truck. You have volume because you have other trucks you can have access to. But if you do business with me and I say, hey, let me go ahead and take a lesser rate today, because then next week when we take it for you, I want 3 times the pay or I want double the pay. So we're talking about negotiating right now. Now it's about let's build that relationship, because next week when you see me, you're gonna always come back and say, yo, hey, let me find you. You're gonna accept my rates, because not only am I gonna communicate with you properly, I'm gonna communicate with you in advance. My driver's gonna drop off in advance and you won't have any issues with us. You're gonna understand what white glove service looks like with us. So that's how we build the relationships. Now let's get to the shipper. Hey, who's your POC? I know it's not the manager. Who's your POC? Why? Because I want to make sure that my truck is always readily available for you guys. Why? So when that broker who will do you wrong and you get tired of them, you can call me directly. So I have leverage because I have a truck, whether I'm the dispatcher or the owner operator. But baby, I can create volume by doing work with you more than once. See, it's all about the relationship. Now we want to protect the load. Protect that load is doing this. When we get to the shipper, make sure we get the load. That's the first thing right there. When people get to freight, you know what happens? The shipper wants them to touch the freight. The shipper wants them to package the freight. The shipper wants them to do all of these things that they were not paid to do. Let me go ahead and reiterate this, because in my structured shapes of logistics, you understand that the square represent the 4 corners that belong in this industry. Driver, which is either the driver or the owner operator. The shipper, they get paid to package the freight. The broker, they get paid to negotiate the rates only. The driver gets paid to transport the freight only. The dispatcher, we get paid to manage the entire operation only. So if there's another broker, know that that's a double broker. We don't need 2 hands in the pot. If there's another dispatcher, know that you just mess up your MC because they're going to red flag you. Now, all we need is the driver to drop off and pick up. All we need is a broker to negotiate the rate and be the actual broker. Because if you're a synthetic broker, now I have to chew your head off gracefully as best as I can, because I'm already offended that you thought you could take money from us. But then more importantly, I now have to go over your head to get to a real broker, to establish a relationship with them, then convince them that I actually have the freight by showing them proof, showing them all the numbers, and say, let me see the real numbers. Don't just tell me the numbers. I want to see the contract. Why? Because even a real broker will not want to pay you. Why? Because the synthetic broker, they took it for less. So why would they want to pay you? more because it's on your truck and you have leverage. Understand that. Get paid. This is what we're talking about. Once you drop off, baby, as a dispatcher, guess what you need to have? The invoice ready, preset in, pre-stamped. Guess what you need to have? Your emails already template. I want to say, you want to have your emails preset for the template for the HR department. That invoice, every load should automatically get put on it every single day. Follow up. Matter of fact, once you drop off, send the invoice off to that HR. Send the invoice off to the payables, the receivables. Do it ASAP, so you can have record that you've done your part, but on their end, they can already have that payment sent to your factoring company readily available. So now we want to measure and improve, analyze, adjust, and do better. How? Okay, let's see. One, as a dispatcher, how much operational deadhead was in your workload? Let's see. How long did it take you to find that load? How long did you have to research the market? How long did you have to strategize? How long did you have to build a relationship with that broker to actually negotiate the right rate? See, this right here can take you 3 minutes or 30 seconds. So if you just want to come in and get out, cool, 30 seconds. Hey, how much is the load for? Where are you going? When is the pickup? Let me do it for this price. Yes, no, maybe so. But if you want to build the relationship, now let me sit here and talk to you. Hey, I know you got 10 other callers. Forget them. Let's talk. How are you doing? Do you run this often? No. How often do you run it? Okay, cool. So every time you run it, I want it. For how much? Maybe today we'll do it for that price. But next week I'm gonna need this price. Can you understand that? Why? Because I'm gonna show you this week how we're gonna do it better and great, and then how it's gonna be seamless. Because if I make it seamless for you, baby, guess what? I just made your job easy. And if I make your job easy, you're always gonna come to me. And that's how I like it. Protect the load. How long did it take you to track and communicate with your drivers? How many times did you have to reach out to your brokers? What problems occurred on that road? Did the driver have any issues? Was there any truck issues, equipment issues? Was the load packaged correctly? Was there any issues? Did we have to seal the truck off? Do we have any partials? See, there are a lot of variables a part of the equation. That's why brokers, they don't manage the load. They think they do. They do. They say, oh, I reached out to the dispatcher. Or I want to talk to the dispatcher. Let me talk to the driver. Okay, cool. So what are you going to do when the driver is busy and don't want to answer that call? You're going to get nervous. What are you going to do when the driver is running behind but don't want to tell you? You're going to get anxious. So stop trying to take the dispatcher out, brokers, because we're the people who are going to represent correctly for that person who may be doing you wrong. Drivers, stop thinking that you can do everything on your own and say, I can scale my business while running my business, while driving my business. Stop it. You're the reason why people have created faceless trucks, because you guys have become a liability. How? You're running your business when you get paid to drive the truck. Why in the world are you on the phone with a broker? Why in the world are you trying to send off insurance papers? Why in the world are you trying to talk to your factoring company? If you don't have a woman behind you, baby, come and get a woman, because a woman can help you operate. That's why we were created to be helpmates, because women are really operating, walking, talking operating systems. Find out what woman you have. And if she's not an operating system, maybe, baby, maybe you got the wrong one. Because every female can either cook or clean. So it's like, what operating system do you really want? The operational deadhead, all of these things are a part of it. How long did it take you to try, communicate, and solve what other problems? Now, get paid. How long did it take you to do that invoice? How long was it for the follow up? See, this right here could be 5 minutes or 5 hours, because sometimes payables don't answer the phone. Sometimes receivables are kind of busy. Sometimes people don't always communicate via email. How long did it take you to analyze, adjust, see the operational deadhead on the front end and the back end? Was the driver on time? Did they pick up? Was there construction? How much was that route? Were there tolls? All of these things cost you time or money, though. That's the only currency that we really have. So let's get freedom in everything that we do. Freedom is why people come to logistics. I had to understand this the hard way, because I would have been in logistics when my brother started out as a driver for Schneider, because he started out as an employee and he grew through the 4 stages of growth. And I'm glad I went and got involved with network marketing, because that's how I learned the 4 stages of growth. But then I took it a lot further. I said, wait a second, my parents could have done this. Parents in general could do this. But I've noticed parents stop at the building stage. They don't really elevate to operating because they don't have a system and they don't have leverage, because leverage is family members. Do you have family members that can help you with your lifestyle, that you can have with the help with the kids' house or any of that? No. If it's just you and your wife, it's like I can understand why you fail or crumble, because you chose not to outsource it. So when you have the 4 stages of growth, your freedom becomes a lot easier, because now you have a plan, you have a blueprint, and you have the ability to execute and implement it if you do it correctly. Time freedom. Logistics gives you time freedom, whether you are a broker, a shipper, let me say it correctly, a broker, a dispatcher, or a driver on operator. That's how you become free. Shippers, I can't really speak too much about you guys because you guys are always in that warehouse. Financial freedom. The reason why it gives you time freedom, because I did not have to be behind any of my trucks. We had 25 carriers. To finish the beginning of that story off, I dropped all of those carriers and kept 6 of them. I don't need all of them. Let me say it right, because I do want my billions. But I noticed I didn't need all the trucks. I didn't. I didn't need every driver. No, I actually needed the drivers that wanted to make money, because, baby, you want to make money with a woman like me? Oh, baby, I'm going to take you to the top. I'm going to scale you. Some dispatchers, they help you make money and you're still stuck because they don't have a blueprint on how you can scale and operate. I actually do. Location freedom. But guess what? I work from my phone. I work from my home. I work from my laptop. I work wherever that phone is, because I had to learn it on my laptop so I can understand. Let me work from not my office, but maybe my bed, because by the time baby number 2 came, when I got done delivering baby number 2, an hour later, I was on the phone with my broker. Why? I had a driver on the road. I couldn't stop. I didn't outsource my system then. It was me and my husband still trying to gather everything. So you're seeing a system that had to go through the crumbling, the falling, the breaking, the coming together, so it can be built together, so it can be implemented, so it can be tested and perfected. I knew I was going to teach. God took me through 4 years of whew, to actually get my stuff together so I can help you. Because when I came to him, as I'm coming to help you, when I decided to come to help you, I said choice gives you control. I want my people to have control. Why? Every person that came in dispatching or logistics after me was lied to. Every time people came to us, they said, man, y'all sound good. I said, what? Aren't we supposed to? What do you mean we sound good? We taste good too. Like, what are you talking about? The numbers aren't everyone making these numbers? Aren't everyone asking you these questions? Oh, they're not? Okay. See, my truck and household calculator was a part of my carrier vetting system. See, I learned I just couldn't have the right driver. Oh, no, baby, no. I need to make sure, are you the right business I want to partner with? Because are you trying to scale your business? Or are you just trying to become a business and stay that? See, a lot of my drivers understood they didn't have leverage, they didn't have a system, but with the questions that we were asking, they understood we may be doing something different. Because when I got to, hey, how much is your household? How much are those cars? Because I'm not getting in your business. I'm not being invasive. I'm actually saying if this truck don't produce the money to cover this household and that truck, you got a second job. So what are we doing here? Because none of us left that one job to develop our own job. No, we developed our own system so we can help other people to become a part of our system that can create to the growing of the system. Building a legacy. Guess what? Every skill that you learn in dispatching, you can take and teach your daughter, teach your son, teach that cousin who don't want to learn, teach that knucklehead nephew over there who just, oh, I got it. Trust me, I have a few in my family. Trust me. I hope all of them are watching too. Because as my brother once told me, oh, we have it a lot easier than what we technically had growing up. We had to do the due diligence, read the books, even with Google, we had to do the search. Do you understand AI? if you understand AI can help you become better and help you build something that much greater to help perfect this great world that we live in, if you want to call it great. I'm above ground, so it's great right now. So freedom is not given. It's not. It's designed. It's built. Because in dispatching, guess what? This was another job, and I was like, damn, I have never worked for somebody this hard. Are you kidding me? 16 hours a day, 12 hours a day. I would have called off if it was another company. I would have said, sorry, I can't make it today. But when you got carriers on your back who are counting on you to deliver, no one could do partials like me on my team. No one could handle our double brokering cases like me. And I said, wait a second, stop. Are you telling me that I built a whole job without realizing it? Because if I wanted to step away, ooh, guess what? Everything stopped. Yes, my husband could book a load and do all of that good stuff, but if that load was double broker, he would have to pull me into it. Guess what? If something happened to the operating system and it needed to be fixed, I had to fix it. Why? Because I'm the one who built it. And I said, oh, okay. This life wasn't free. It wasn't giving me freedom at all. So it wasn't until I stopped. See, 4 stages of growth is employee, builder, operator, owner. Employee is where you're calculating, you're doing all of the thinking, you're putting your plan together. The builder stage is when you're actually building, putting these things, objects, tools, putting it together. Operating, that's when you have created a system and now you can outsource, or you have the leverage to either hire or manage, have some other people manage some of those tasks. Because an operator cannot think like an employee, is not going to be successful. And an owner cannot build a legacy if they're building. Let me say that better. An owner cannot create a legacy if they're in build mode. An owner cannot create a legacy if they're in operating mode. See, by the time you get to that ownership stage, you're delegating. It's everything I do is through voice. I'm not managing. Nah. I'm not building. No, I've done that. I'm not thinking about this anymore. Been there, done that. See, there's stages. That's why I say our parents never grew past that builder stage. They never got to see operating stages when you have nannies, au pairs, and stuff. People had their cousins, their big mamas, and even those people are underpaid. So I say freedom because it comes in so many different ways. You don't need to take advantage of your family members just because they're family. That's my thing. If you understood how much it costs to run your life, you will understand how much more money you need. Because a lot of us, we run our life by doing the things ourselves. Oh, let me do this myself. How much time are you giving? See, capacity is not the same as money, and it's definitely not the same as freedom. But capacity does give you some type of freedom. So if you have a business where your time is needed, you're financially tied to it, you can't really do much because your location is needed. And then on top of that, you don't have a choice, then baby, you don't have freedom. See, dispatching gives you all of this. You can work from your phone or your home or even outside. I was at the grocery store actually dispatching. I couldn't believe it. One thing that I also learned was I can actually dispatch with my kids being in the background and no one cared about their voice. That is something that was important to me because sales, you can't do that. They care about that background noise. So freedom is doing whatever you need, swiping your card whenever you can, without having to think about at the grocery store, how much money do I have? Let me count the numbers. Let me count my groceries. No, enough of that. Because at some point in your life, you have to say, I'm not going to stand for that anymore. What else can I do? You can dispatch. What else can I do? You can be an investor. Go out, buy your truck. I show you how to go ahead and put that driver in the truck and then have that driver run your business. And let me say right, have that driver drive your business while your dispatcher run your business. And you could be working your full-time job, still bringing in additional streams of income. Stop it. I had this happen to one of our carriers. Security guard, a woman who now is not a security guard. This happened to another carrier, a guy who was working for Amazon, now who's no longer working for Amazon because now he has his own operation. So scale your freedom. How? through your margin. Are you serious? It's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. Oh, let me take the glasses off of this one because, baby, to my people who are in logistics right now, I need for you to stop flexing on them. I got this load that was 8,000. I made 10,000. Okay. My take home was 5K. Okay. See, you have to understand the 4 weeks in a month. The first week, you're actually paying your bills. Some of the second week goes to that. The second and third week, that's your surplus. That's where you collect your money. And that fourth week, it prepares you back for the first week, so you have the money in advance. I say that because I had a lot of drivers. They will put their credit out there. They will take out loans, but then don't have the dividends. How much you make is not how much you keep. Let me say that again. How much you make is not how much you keep. You can have an $8,600 week, but if you only kept 3,000 of it, you, my friend, you made no money. Because at 3,000, is that going to cut that? Is that going to cut your bills? Is that going to cut your truck? Is that going to cut for your insurance? How about the gas for next week? Come on now, because if you're running, people say $2 a mile, right? $2 a mile means you need to be driving at least 5,000 miles a week to hit 10K, right? So let's see if we had some endorsements, maybe some certifications, maybe that hazmat, because I know a shipper right now who will pay you $5 a mile to actually drop off empty paint cans. See, those things are hazardous. Those things actually pay more money. See, something like your margin will create freedom because more margin gives you more options. See, something like your margin will give you protection because protection will protect that business and your household. See, if you have a bad week, but the other three are good, you're good. But what happens if you have 2 weeks and you barely make, let's say, 5,000? Your truck payment is 25. Your rent is already 25. You're cutting it close. You're cutting it real close. So you have to trim the fat and see how you can recover additional income. Was there driver's assistance? Did you need to touch the freight beyond tailgating? Did the shipper ask you to touch the freight? Did the receiver ask you to touch the freight? Was there detention? Was there a layover? There are other ways you can make money in this. See, margin equals power. You build, you scale, and you leave a legacy. Truck A, see, they grow 7,000 one week, and these are real numbers. Their expenses was 5,200. When they net profit, it was 18. And when I kept seeing this, with my trucks. I said, yo, hey, we helped you hit your numbers. How are you not bringing in about 5,000 on a weekly basis? If you made 10K, how are you not bringing in 5? So when they told me they're bringing in 2,000, maybe 3,600, I said, stop playing with me. See, as a dispatcher would be cool with that and say, hey, I did my part. Nah, cat, I'm not cool with that. See, brand reputation matters a lot. If I put my name out there and I told you that I help you, I have to come through. So I came through and I could walk away and keep it there. But am I really servicing you? I don't think so. Let me see your numbers. Let's go behind that door. Let me see your house numbers. Oh, you paid this. Let me show you. If we brought that number down, let's see how much we can save. And now that we save, now we can actually have more, because let's look at truck B. Gross revenue 7,000, but your expenses is 6,300. Now let me ask, if you profit 700, did you really make any money? People be saying, "Oh, I made 7K," but how much did you spend? How much did you spend? I want to know, because if you have your numbers, but your expenses are eating up your numbers, are you really running a successful business? See, numbers are supposed to fluctuate, but they're not supposed to stay up like this. See, your margin formula, and I say this because a lot of you drivers, y'all, you brag on these numbers so hard, and I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but if I was to pull back that veil and see the real profit, you will look like, ooh, a man in a cold pool on a cold day. Gross revenue, that's what you bring in. Operating expenses, that is what it costs to run that truck. Household expenses. This is where you drop the ball. This is what it costs to run your life. Why? This is a lifestyle movement, baby. We are over here because we want a different lifestyle. We are over here because we know we're America's backbone. Everything in this office came off of a truck, including this right here. A truck brought that to the store. So why do we think that logistics is going anywhere? It's not. They may change the driver. They may take that driver out, but you better believe we're still going to receive our products. So now that we know all of that, now guess what? Your net profit is what you keep. Look at the numbers again. If I help you make 8,000 for gross revenue, your operating expenses for that truck, let's say that is 3,000. Let's say your household expenses is 2,000. Now you net profit 3,000. Are you doing good or are you doing good? Good. Not to me. Nah, you're not doing good. If you profit, if you made 8,000 gross and your operating expenses is 3K, I'm gonna have to look at that insurance, baby. Why is that 3K? Why? How much are we spending in gas? Do you have any gas cards? Do you have any discounts? Okay. How much is that insurance? How much is that truck note? Because there are certain expenses that we can't avoid. 3K needs to be technically brought down to 2,700. It may not sound like as much, but if we can bring that down to 2,700, guess what we can do? Come over here to the household expenses. 2,000. Okay, can we bring that down to 1,500? If we can bring that down to 1,500, now we can see how we can actually, trim the fat. People don't understand there are seasons to grind, there are seasons to grow, and there are seasons to profit and receive proceeds. You can't be eating all your proceeds when you're supposed to be grinding. There's a time to reap and there's a time to grow. And maybe you don't protect your margin. That's why your future is not protected because you're steady eating right now when you're supposed to save. See, when you know your numbers, you can grow your margin. And I say that because knowing it means know your true cost. How much does 500 miles take you? How far? How many hours? Because technically 500 miles should be around 7 hours. 7 hours, if you think about the mileage, that's around maybe 3 to 400 right there. Let me see. I can actually, from here to, if you look at Georgia, depending on what part of Georgia, now you can see how far of a distance. Because from here to Chicago, that's 12 hours. 500 miles, you're talking about 7 hours. That's about 2 fill-ups. So when you know your numbers, you can calculate your numbers down to the particle of how much everything costs, from your insurance to your truck to your factoring costs. Because a lot of factoring companies, they're around 3%. People think that's cool. There are factoring companies that's 1%. Understand that. So if you don't know the information, how can you actually have access to it? Set your target margin. You should actually set your numbers off of those numbers. So if you know your household is 2,000, if you know your business is about 3,000, that's 5,000. So that means before you do anything, you have to make 5,000 to get out that bed. So that means we need to hit 10K, right? Why don't we possibly have some endorsements, certifications, or even a second body in that truck? Because if you have two bodies in the truck, guess what? That truck can run all day, every day. Now we're going to run around America collecting bills, $100 bills, because that truck is now the new vending machine. That's what we want. Go around and collect the money. Review every lane. See what lanes are eating, because basically freight moves north to south, left to right. Now, that doesn't mean that freight in Virginia won't go to Texas. That doesn't mean freight in Virginia won't go down south. No, freight can move all around, but there's also a rhythm and flow of how it goes. People who are in logistics understand this. All the money is in the Midwest. Let me say that again. All the money is in the Midwest. Ah, got it off my chest. Why? Because you Georgians down there in ATL, no offense, but it's saturated. It's saturated. Everyone down in Georgia has a truck, but the problem is none of y'all have any endorsements. Dallas is becoming saturated, but guess what? Some of y'all have some endorsements. New York, y'all are definitely saturated. Y'all are not willing to do what it takes to get those certifications. I'm sorry. But Chicago, Indiana, let's see, Chicago, Indiana, Minnesota, Wisconsin, money is pouring down over there. And Yeah, Jersey to Texas, that was a nice run for us. But I created the triangle where the truck can eat for 21 days if it follows the triangle system. This helps you to reinvest in what grows in profit. So you have to be able to reinvest in yourself. Take those weekends. If you're driving, you are at home 2 weekends out the month, you're wasting your time and you're wasting your family's money, because you have to be willing to do what it takes for a season just to get the rest of your life back. Just imagine if you were for one season, you worked every weekend or at least 3 weekends out the month. That fourth weekend, yes, you're going to be tired. Go get a massage from your wife or your girlfriend if that's who you can do. But more importantly, go get that truck fixed and go get your certifications, because stop asking for $2 a mile and go out there and get it. I I can't believe that back in the day we didn't have to ask to get married. We didn't need permission to get married. It was because white and black wanted to get married. That's where the marriage license came from. That's where they had to say, can I have permission? Because I know I'm not supposed to marry this little white country girl, but I fell in love with her. So now I need permission. Now we are operating on this system of permission, when in actuality, God told you you don't have because you didn't ask. So now let's get to what I created. My trucking household profit calculator, baby. It took me a while to create this, and I'm ecstatic because I wanted to give you guys something that was easy for you all. Knowing your numbers was kind of difficult, and these conversations that was a part of my interviewing system was a lot longer with this calculator, because it wasn't a calculator at first. This was a questionnaire. Let me know your household income. Let me know what's going on in the house, so I can tell you if this truck is going to make you the money that you need. A lot of you get these trucks without actually seeing. Is I see the final note, meaning the final balance, 37,000. I see the note, 2,000. But do you check your ROI? Do you check that ROI? Will this truck produce more than $40,000? Can this truck produce more than 40,000? Is the market set up where I can make more than 40,000? If that's a 30,000, $37,000 truck, stop just financing these trucks without understanding the numbers you need. Because if you have, let's say, a $37,000 truck, you need for that truck to make you 75,000. Real talk. And it doesn't have to come from all of the lows. It can actually come from, how about we go up a step, because there's 3 levels of logistics when it comes to making money. Hauling freight is one. Being Airbnb to the warehouses, meaning supplying warehouses, that's 2. Now the third one, that's going to be the highest tier, and that's a tier that most people don't get involved in. That's leasing out equipment. So if I have a $30,000 truck, why wouldn't I lease that out to a business who can actually use that for 6 months and pay me that 37 upfront? Don't worry, take my class. I'll tell you. I'll show you how to do it. My truck and household profit calculator, this is a system that I created from my questionnaire. Why? I had to do more than just deliver the numbers. Because if I helped you get to your goal, 10K a week, but yet you brought home less than 60%, let me say it right. If you brought home 20 to 40%, I didn't do my job right, because it's like I helped you make the money, but baby, we need to keep the money. So this profit calculator, I took all of those questions, I created this calculator with my AI, and I was able to get it to exactly where I needed to be, where it is easy and seamless for you. Put in your trucking note. Put in if you have a drive-in, if you're paying for that trailer. Put in your insurance. Put in your car note, your household, your rent, your mortgage. Put all of that in, and it's going to tell you, for one, what type of system you're running right now. Is it strong or is it weak? Do we need to fill it in with better carriers, or do we need to fill it in with better operating systems, meaning my brokers list, my carriers list, my shippers? Do we need other things? That's the first thing it's going to do. Second is, then it's going to tell you how to master your weekly numbers. Once you put in your goal, it will say, hey, your weekly gross was $4,914. That's cool. Your surplus was around $799. That's okay too. But guess what? Your profit was $2,064. Your number that's required to hit your weekly number is $4,115. See, it's going to show you what you need to touch on. Do you need to increase your revenue per mile? Do you need to eliminate your deadhead and put that in too? Because I know what it means to have a truck out there eating up deadhead. Deadhead eats up proceeds. Come on now. And every seed that we got, we need. I'm telling you. So this is going to help you, show you, hey, you are at least 2,000 away from hitting your weekly goal. Now, guess what you need? We need to eliminate some deadhead over here. We need to take a bigger rate over here. We need to see how we can actually get this under control. It will show you what your household requirement needs. It will show you what your weekly profit needs. This is going to help you stop thinking and start doing, because the more you stop to think, the more time it's going to cost you to even do. Most people don't do until they actually figure it out. You don't need to figure it out. I've done that for you. I have taken the time. I put more than 20 hours into making sure that this was right. So when I used it, I was able to walk on it. So now that I know I'm handing it to you, you can walk on it too. Because this was not designed to hold you behind. This was designed so you can get ahead, a step ahead in the game and knowing your numbers. Because if you know your numbers, then baby, you know how to excel to the next level. There's no way you can excel in dispatching, logistics, or any business if you don't know how much it costs you. As you see, I'm very passionate about what I do and what I talk about, because I didn't get here overnight. I didn't get here with my own might. I got here through blood, sweat, and tears, arguing with my husband, arguing with him in the brokers, arguing with our carriers, not on purpose, but it's because the system had to be created. We have to do things the correct way. We have to deliver the right information. We have to make sure that we can bring something to the table that the people actually can use. How many people are actually bring some systems to the table? I want you to talk. I can hear talk on YouTube. What is your system doing for me? Do you have a tool for me to actually utilize to make it easier, make it better? If not, sit down. Because all you're doing is taking my time. I took it to another level. See, I got the truck and household calculator. But the profit POS, now I took all of me that I was doing. See, I put all of me in my AI freight coach. With this, I took the way I was operating and I put that into my profit POS. And I say that because the profit POS includes my partials. Whoo, my partials, baby. If you know anything about logistics, no partials is how you make your money. See, my partial finder is going to actually locate the partials on the load boards that we're partnering with, and find the load that actually can fit the remaining feet and weight that your truck needs. See, I had to do that for every truck, every time, every day of my life. It took a lot. It took a whole lot, even thinking about it. It took a lot of energy out of me. So I'm glad that now I can actually turn, and I turned this over into technology because I wanted other people to have this. So I wanted to make sure that outside of my system, I brought you my connections, because I'm a person who I'm big on networking. To me, going to school taught me school is all about networking, and building a business and doing network marketing taught me you can do anything that you really put your mind to. All you need is the right system behind you. If that person done it, this person has done it, you can do it too. But you have to see what those people were willing to do, willing to give up to make those decisions make work. I digress. The Operator Advantage Program, I created this because a lot of my people who are 1099 earners, they don't have health insurance. They don't even have the right legal representation. So I wanted to make sure that I brought some of my partners to the table. See, we're not here just to say, hey, I'm here to teach you dispatch and I want you to become free. I'm here to say, I'm here to help you grow and scale your business. Don't worry about the website. My team will build that for you. Why? Because I need you to be focused on your business. See, the problem is a lot of people, when they create businesses and they want to help someone else, they'll teach you content. But guess what? You still have to find someone to build your business identity. That's one of the biggest aspects, don't you think? Having your paperwork in order. That's huge. But if you don't know anything about the paperwork, that's a deficiency. It's also a dead end. So with this, I'm bringing you this operating, even though this information right here is incorrect, because those are my systems. This operating system include my health place marketplace. Why? Like I said, a lot of my 1099 earners, they don't have health insurance. I understand that, because if you don't have a partner who has health insurance, you're going to be out, or you're going to pay that much more. So my partnerships are going to bring you the marketplace where you have access to all the doctors and have access to the health plans. Outside of that, now you're talking about legal assistance, credit and funding assistance. See, I don't need to be the one-stop shop. I am the greatest connector. And I say that because my connections through my partnerships is going to help a lot of you not just succeed, but really scale your business, especially with my credit and funding partners. So many of you are getting in this business, this industry, without the proper credit, not even the proper funding. So I can't even talk to you about funding if your credit is not right. No worry, I have partners who can actually get you right. One of my partners, I I'm in the mentor to million group, and I love the growth that I see in my one of my classmates, Dom. I see the growth in him, and just this month alone, he got one of his customers over close to 100 figures. I said that wrong. Close to 100,000, and I'm looking at him like, wow. I remember when that didn't exist. I remember when you were still growing, but to not only see you helping people, but to see how fast and how much you're helping them, I'm glad I'm connected to a person like you, because if someone wants to get in logistics right now and they don't have any funding, I can say, hey, I actually have a partner over here. I have this partner, Shamika. I have Brian and Samantha. I have a lot of partners in that industry. Now, when it comes to financing and taxes, I have Michelle who does great with taxes. I have Q who's great with investing in accounts with the IUL and insurance. Great. Why? Because you're going to learn the logistics. But through me and because of me, you're going to be connected to all of these other entities, all of these other people who can keep you covered. I actually also partnered with my mentor, previous mentor, Derek Johnson and Tisha Johnson. Shout out to them because they're still my mentors with Club Viago. We partnered with them because I want to make sure I bring the lifestyle to you all too. See, lifestyle is one thing that people sleep on the most, but we spend the most money in. The same Macy's, the same McDonald's. Go on your own app to the same Walmart, to the same Target. Get some of that money back. You're going to spend it anyway. Why not get some of it back and use it towards Christmas? Get some of it back and use it towards saving. Get some of it back and use it towards an investment. See, I am not trying to be the one-stop shop for everything. No. But I did look at everything that I went through and said, if I had my own business and I'm a 1099 earner, can I still have health insurance? Can I still have legal insurance? Yes, we're partnering up with Prepaid Legal. Can I still have credit assistance? Yes, we're partnering up with a lot of credit and funding partners because we want to not only help you build your personal portfolio, but that business portfolio. So when you go to and get that truck finance, you're going to do it with the Section 179 so you can get the taxes back on that. So you do all of this the right way. You need taxes, no problem. I will partner you up with Joy Hunt, put you in tune with her, because you don't know who you don't know. In that 6 degrees, it's really a game changer. If you want to learn this tonight, no problem. Standard, self-paced, $9.99. One truck can bring in $4,000. Two trucks can bring in $8,000. Three trucks, 12. Come on now, the numbers are going. We had 6 trucks. 6 trucks brought us in about $24,000 on a monthly basis. I had 25, and I had a whole lot of a headache. Money is cool, but when you got money that controls you, that's when I say I'm out, because I don't want anything to control me. God is enough, and that's more than what I need right there. My self-paced, we're going to hook you up with everything. My curriculum, so you can learn all of this. Why? Because some of you may be like me. You're up all hours of the night and you possibly can't make it to my class at that certain time. No problem. I still want you to learn. I still want you to earn. And we're still going to help you, even with the self-paced, because a lot of people with self-paced, you don't get that much support. We're going to support you. We're going to help you find that first carrier and even help you sign that person up. The bonus that you're going to receive with this is my standard insider book, all the secrets that I've learned about dispatching. We recover over $250,000 of double broker loads. We dispatch over $1 million of freight. So I don't think you did that. I don't think we did that by accident. That was really by design. And it wasn't easy. But now it can be. I'm also going to include the structure, shapes, and logistics. Like I told you, like that square, that represents the partners. The triangle represents the structure. The circle represents the flow of money and how things go. Now, legacy, if you want to learn directly from me, baby, because I know everything, because I say that because I built the system. I'm the Dr. Dre of this. I hate to say it because it comes off as if I'm bragging. But I'm saying this because I'm so confident, because before I wasn't. I was building, before I was still thinking about this, before I was trying to operate. Now I'm actually living the prayer that I have been praying for years. And it took so much headache, I had to cut my husband off. I cut my friends off so I can build right. See, when you are in the right season and when you know what season you're in, you don't have time for distractions. You have time to get it. And the way I'm trying to get it is by giving it to you guys, giving you all the information and the tools, because people give information. I also want you to have the right tools so you can not only just get information, you can get the lifestyle. That's the only reason why we're here. That's the only reason why I'm in front of you, so you can get a better lifestyle. I was able to be a mom from home and still make my money. I said to myself, I was not going to make that choice because God told me in 4:13 Philippians that I can have anything. I can do anything through Christ, through my strength and through His. All I needed was His strength. All I needed was His will. So if you want to learn this, my training says 3 days a week, but I've changed this twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, an hour and a half each day. I'm gonna hook you up with my business and brand setup because I don't want you to focus on how I'm going to run my business, create the business. Focus on dispatching. That's it. My team can do all of that for you. Just focus on dispatching and stay pretty and stay handsome. Because if I get you there, then I can show you how this can change in the next 30 days and your life can be different. And I say that because my life did change in 30 days. I worked my ass off. I got fired. Technically, I quit. I got on probation and then I quit and then I started running my business and I didn't know what I was doing. I was chicken with her head cut off, but I was so determined to win that I said, no matter what, no matter how, no matter how long it will take, I will win. And I will make sure that I do it with these people on my back. Bonuses that comes with this. Now, with this, you're going to get a 1 hour live Q&A once a month. This is about a 90-day course. Why? 90 days is enough time for me to show you, to grow you, and to help scale you. That's what this is about. We're not creating second jobs here. We're creating family legacies here. We're creating new lifestyles here. This is going to come with my standard toolkit, which is all of the secrets. This is also going to come with the structure, shapes of logistics. But most importantly, this comes with my vetting system, my interviewing system. Why? Because I can't get you to this point and hook you up, but don't teach you how to interview these people. Because I want to know who taught the dispatchers out there how to dispatch if they did not teach you how to hire a carrier. Because it's like they cheated you out of your money. How dare you teach me this industry but don't tell me how to go get clients? Stop it. If you are already in this, a dispatcher, not making more than 10,000 a month, not even making 4,000 a month. If you are a driver and you're not making over 30 minimum 30 a month, you need my elite. This is for those people who are ready to scale their business. You're in operating mode and now you want to be in that ownership mode, but there's some things that you have to do to get there. We need to get some automations going. We're going to hook you up and set you up with the government contracts with create your SamGov account. On top of that, connect you with my business and capital partners. Dom is definitely one of them. He's definitely rocking it over there, helping people get that money. Dom, go ahead. I like that. But importantly, we're going to help you with the business funding as well, because you can't scale your business without having more than one truck. You can't scale your business without having the financial backing for that. So the business funding, along with the government contracts, that's going to definitely hook you up and set you up for our elite. That is $4,999. This comes with all of my bonuses. Now, that is the Insider Secrets, the structure shapes of my ebook, my career vetting system. And on this one, I'm going to toss in my truck and household calculator. Before I said I will never do that, but this week only, I will, because I want people to win. And it's not about being selfish. So this is going to be my Profit OS dashboard. So the Profit OS dashboard that I talked about, this goes a little bit further. This includes my partial finder, But more importantly, now it's taking everything that you have and taking it to the next level. How? We're going to look at your operating score. Are you always on time? Are you solid? We're going to look, are you performing? Are you at risk? Are you strong? Do you have an elite system? Now we need to look at the household coverage. Does your truck really cover your household? This is how much a household coverage costs, $11.50. This is how much you're bringing in, $18.86. That's up right there. Now we want to see your weekly gross, 5,000, your weekly profit, 1,800, weekly surplus. Now we need to see this number. How much do we need on a weekly basis to maintain our household? The priority ladder, it shows you your numbers. The action plan, it shows you, okay, do we need to increase the rate per mile? Should we reduce the deadhead? Do we need to improve our fuel efficiency? Let's look at lower insurance. How can we optimize the maintenance? Then it will give you an action plan. Why? Because you can't do all of this without taking action. Do you need more revenue? That's this week. That would be my revenue system. Do you need a better driver or better partnerships? Carrier vetting. Do you need better financial partners? That's my operating system. Do you need better mechanics? That's my dispatching one-on-one. See, my profit calculator, profit OS system, we go deep into it. This shows you your rate per mile, the miles you're running, the deadhead, your fuel prices, all of the above. When I say I put thought into this, baby, I wasn't playing. This is my revenue operations book on how you can make $1,000 per truck per week. I created this so people can understand the blueprint of the numbers and how to make this, because when it comes down to it, there's no way you can do logistics without knowing your numbers. My AI freight coach, that is all of me in my AI technology. This is the AI technology that's not just going to help you book your freight, it's actually going to help teach you as well. A lot of AI right now is actually just doing one thing, and that's booking a freight. That's cool. I don't want to take the dispatcher out the equation because I understand how much work and how much of an essence that we dispatchers bring to the table. So my freight coach is actually going to take all of my curriculum and break it down to you, but it's going to do it to you in bite sizes. So it will show you, hey, I booked this rate. Why did I book this low over this one? Because this one has a better back haul and there's a better chance of another freight. Now the profit is going to be levels to it because the next one is going to show you how it's going to book the next 3 loads in advance and even add the partial finder to it. So if your truck still has space on it, baby, I don't care if it's 4 feet, that's money to me. So my AI freight coach is something that I take very serious because I put so much into it. I put my interviewing system in it, I put my number system in it, and I even put my operating system in it. This is the future of logistics right here, because this freight coach is going to not only help you book your freight, but it will teach you why it booked that particular freight. Because a lot of people, they see a big number and say, oh, I'm gonna chase that. Going down that path is going to leave you in an empty desert. And going down that path is going to leave you in an empty back haul area. So let's look at this all across the board so we do it correctly, because I didn't do all of this to come up short. I did this so you all can grow, but I did this so I can actually help free someone. So if you are out there right now, you're working a job that you possibly don't like, you're working a job that is not paying you just right, you are having a lifestyle that's not really conducive to what God told you you should have. Maybe, just maybe, logistics may be it. You can work from your phone, work from your home, but more importantly, you call the shots. You don't work for anyone, you work for yourself. More importantly, you choose who you work with. Maybe dispatching could be it, or investor. It doesn't have to be one or the other. All I know is you don't need the truck. All I know is I was able to create this with my husband. One child, had another child, and I didn't have any experience. I had God, determination, and willpower. I wasn't going to go back to another job. I just wasn't going to dust that resume off, and I wasn't going to do it. I'm living the prayer that I once prayed, but it took me to believe in myself, because after being on this journey for so long, I have learned that You don't need to believe in God because God, he comes through. He's been there before. He came through for you before and before and before. It's really you taking the time to think, can I do this? Will it work for me? I didn't know those answers. I was afraid. I was very much afraid. I had the money. I didn't have the time, but I made the time. See, I learned if you got money, you can create time. But if you got time, you can go make money. So I didn't have time to give. I had time to steal. I stole time from my job. I stole time from sleep, and I built this business. It wasn't easy. I did it overnight. I didn't do it overnight. That's what I'm trying to say. But I'm saying this to say I did this so I can help save somebody one day. This business helped save me because I was not going to be that mom who was going to say, I can only be a mom and not make my millions. No, I was going to make those millions. I didn't care. I want to let people know that you don't have to choose. You don't have to have all the answers, and you don't have to have a background in this. See, I didn't have any of that. The only thing I had was sheer determination. And that determination was enough for me to say, I have to do something different because if I don't, my daughter, she won't see me. So the one thing that I'd say to you guys is, what type of lifestyle do you want? I think I really want you all to think about that. What type of lifestyle do you want? Because the type of lifestyle that you want is going to determine what you do to get it. A lot of people, they were not willing to do what it took. They're not willing to do anything, honestly. A lot of people, they're not willing to do what it takes to get the lifestyle that they want. See me, you say, hey, you can have that lifestyle in sales. All right, I'll do it. No problem. I tried that. I didn't want to convince anyone. I tried network marketing. I was tired of convincing. I've tried sales from T-Mobile to AT&T, door to door. I've tried all of these things. But God knew, and also the enemy knew, that if he gave me my money too soon, I would show everyone else how to get it. He knew if he gave me he knew if I had to work for it, that I will I was going to do whatever it took to work for it. But more importantly, I was going to share it with everyone. So I am bringing this to you guys right now due to the fact some of you are drowning. Some of you are dying on the inside. Some of you don't have anyone else. Some of you don't even have support from your own family. I only had, I can't say support. I can't say I had, what did I have? God. Yeah, that's what I had. I didn't have my husband in that moment. And I say that because we were arguing back and forth every day. And trust me, I should have been shut this off. But I want to be transparent with you guys. I was newly married and I could not believe that I was like, this is not what this should be. This is not what love is supposed to be. This is not what marriage is. Like, are you kidding me? The baby was crying all the time. He was tired, couldn't help. And then I got my job on my back. I needed a way out. I was willing to bite my own ankle off, chew my foot off to get out of working for someone. It was that detrimental. Have you all ever been there before? Where is that detrimental? Nah, I don't think so. Because so? you wouldn't select it. Now, the only reason why I'm still on here is because I'm actually stuck trying to do something. But it's because I want to be real with some people and let them know that if you need a way out, if you've been crying, if you've been praying for something, I gotta be honest, I've tried it and it is logistics. See, you could try Amazon, hair, credit, all of these things, but a lot of them backfire. A lot of people on TikTok, they want to show you how to make rich, get money real fast, and it's like it don't really work like that. It don't. It's not. And when you pull back, I say this because I've been in a lot of scenes where it's like, what's behind that velvet rope? What's behind the VIP lines? What's behind the million demo? Once I get behind there, it's like this it. This ain't nothing. This is not what it was cracked up to be. But one, I will tell you this: logistics showed me that I could be a mom. It showed me that I could make my money. It showed me that I could call the shots. It showed me that I could work for my damn self. That's the biggest thing. A lot of you want to work for yourself, but you don't know how. I created that so you don't have to worry about that. A lot of you want to do something that's purposeful. Sometimes you just have to make the money. See, there's something called a money load and a destination load. And I was supposed to have a slide on this, but I didn't. The money load, it says exactly what it says. It gets you the money. The destination load, that's exactly what it does. It gets you the money. It gets you your destination, to be honest. Now, why is this important? Because when you're in logistics, when you are a driver, you have one of two things. You can pull up to a certain location, or you can go make some money. If you're driving, you don't have a wife and kids, go make that money. If you're driving, you have a wife and kids, hit those destination loads every 3 weeks out the month. Your destination load is just exactly what it says to get you to your damn destination. Why? Because there's going to be some times where you are going to need to go home. And then there are going to be some times where you have to stay out and work. See, people don't understand that. They don't want to. Many people, they want to be comfortable. And that's the problem with being comfortable. You can't be comfortable and grow at the same time. It's not possible. So if you can be comfortable while getting uncomfortable, you can make some money. But life is not always about making money. Life is also about creating that lifestyle. GLU is the lifestyle that I want. Because back in the day, I wanted to just dispatch. That was cool for me. I wanted to help some people. I got to do that. Got to help my carrier hit their goals. But then it showed me I'm teaching my carriers, but I can teach more than just my carriers. See, my carriers got, I want to say, babied because I was putting them in tune and putting them on some good game that no one was teaching. But the thing is, I wanted to teach and I wanted to share this information with everyone because I knew I had my hands on something with the systems, everything that I was creating. So putting this together was not easy, but I wanted to make sure it was worth it because once a person said they wanted to change their life and said they wanted to do it through logistics, I knew that they wanted a real change. See, you go into medicine because you want to make a purposeful change. You go into law because you want to be impactful. You go into logistics because you want to get and be free. Imagine you on the road, you just driving. What else are you doing? People come here because they want to be free, not because they want to make an impact or no, they want to be free and they want to have a legacy that they can share with the kids one day. They want to be free and be able to come and go as they please without wondering and hoping and how. No, they just want to be free. But most people don't know how to go about it. But that's okay. You can go to geouniversity.net and you can actually sign up today. My price on my website is not the same as my webinar price. Send me a message and tell me, hey, Kat, give me that Webby price. I will hook you up. Make sure my team takes care of you. But this information is going to teach you the system. That's why I say we teach beyond dispatching, because this isn't just dispatching here. We're actually operating. You're talking about being an operating manager for a company that you can create or even help manage. We guide you. We help you to apply the system, because all of our systems that were created, you can't go Google that. No, you can't. Scalability. We show you how to grow the system. What purpose is it for us to show you how to make the money, but don't show you how to scale your business? We did you a disservice. So you're not betting on me. Tonight, if you want to get into logistics and you want to do it the right way, do it faster, go ahead. Go to my website. We'll help you out. But tonight, this is about betting on yourself. See, God already said if this is for you or not. Because if you're still watching me, that means you may be here on purpose. But the thing is, you may be afraid to take that leap of faith. Trust me, I was too. But when I took that, I never looked back. And I don't want you to. Because I think everyone can be free. And free means you can come and go as you please, have as much money as you need. But the biggest thing is having that flexibility. If you are stuck to a phone, stuck to a computer to make your money, you're not free. You're kind of like a tiger with a chain. You're that elephant in the circus. You can only go so far. But here, freedom is really, that chain is off. You can go as far as you want, partner with whomever you want. Stop dispatching, start operating, and build freedom. Freedom for me was being able to work from home, make money, and then control how much I make. Because I was the person who would always hit my numbers, but I never could control how much those numbers were. Let me say it right. I never could control the initial rate of those numbers. See, you tell me the numbers, I can compound it and I can create a new number. That's cool. But if I had the say so in the beginning, then I could see, because that number will show me how much work I actually need to do. So this night is not about you betting on me or betting on God. It's completely about you betting on yourself. Learn a new skill that will teach you a legacy. Learn a new skill that you can pass down to your kids. But more important, learn a new skill that can help you to become free. My name is Catherine. It's been a pleasure bringing this information to you all tonight. I look forward to seeing you guys in my class. And then I look forward to helping you become free as well. Have a good night.